Good morning. I'm Steve Turner, continuing on with our employee leadership series. This one today, I would like to entitle What You Focus On, You Empower. But before we get into this too deeply, let's talk about managing and leading. I touched on this in one of the previous videos. We should manage procedures and systems, but we should lead people. Anytime people become included in the managed category, we're now looking at what people do as opposed to the fact that it's people that do it. So lead people, manage systems. If your people are in the managed category, you are at risk of what we could call these days a great resignation type experience. We know that corporate America is suffering from the great resignation. This can happen to any size business. So that's really the focus behind everything we do, is to change that dynamic. A friend of mine, Robert Needham, in a book that he entitled Escaping Economic Slavery, made this comparison, and I thought this was excellent. Are your people a line item on your income statement, or are they an asset on your balance sheet? The answer to this question reflects our mindset. It's our mindset on how we value employees. Assets need to be cared for. I've made some observations over my time in the leadership business that's spanned over 45 years now. And here are some summaries. Many management personnel do not like management jobs, which leads to stagnation on the management side. In other words, they're literally just punching a clock to exist. I find this one difficult because I've enjoyed leading people for all this time, but it is a dynamic. Secondly, many employees do not like managers and or their jobs. And this also leads to stagnation. Again, this time on the employee side. And employees come to work because they're getting paid and maybe getting some benefits, but they're punching a clock, so to speak, as opposed to really enjoying being there. So these are two broad bottom line statements with many influencing details. Managers don't like jobs, and people don't like managers. So let's continue on. Some additional observations, and it's simply this. This does not have to be this way, because managers and employees can enjoy their jobs and they can be successful together, working as a unit. Is this utopia? Absolutely not, though some would think it might be. What we can have is abundant success on both sides, and that is very possible. And that is the goal and the ongoing result of all of the training materials we work at, and that is to accomplish that objective. So I'm going to talk about some foundational leadership characteristics and traits before getting into skill sets as far as working with people. The first place starts with the individual manager, that is. So we're going to go through some characteristics, some foundational leadership characteristics and traits. Number one, be proactive, not reactive. I've got a couple of things that kind of go in that direction here. Here's the next one. Look forward, not backwards. Whatever situation that we're in, even if there's some negativity to the issue we're discussing, we can be proactive as opposed to reactive. We want to be positive, not negative. I don't care if it's a negative situation. There's a positive way to look at things. Positive solutions are constructive. Negative solutions tend to be destructive. So as a result of wanting to look on the positive side, we also will have a tendency to leverage strengths as opposed to focusing on weaknesses. Does that mean you never work on a weakness? Absolutely not. But if you spend 80% of your time focusing on people's strengths, as opposed to trying to spend 80% of your time fixing a weakness that's impossible, life's just a whole lot more enjoyable for both the management team and the employees in your business. I want to show you a picture here. I'm sure you've seen this before, but I love it. It tells a great story. And here it is. If you look at this picture, what do you see? Do you see the young lady looking out into the distance? Or do you see the older lady looking somewhat downward? The answer is, there is no perfect answer. The fact is, it's perception. So each answer is correct. It just depends on what you see. But the bottom line of this is simply this. Perception is reality until proven otherwise. And this is a major issue when it comes to dealing and leading people. People will react to what they believe you're doing. It may not be exactly what you're doing. I have been subject to this. Everybody is subject to this issue, where we can say things and do things and look like we're moving one direction when in our minds we're going in a different direction. Now, you can be fortunate like I was, and that is that I had relationships with people that were they're very good. So as a result, when I did dumb things, I was fortunate enough to have people in my group that would come and tell me, Steve, what are you doing? And I'll say, why are you asking? Because this is what we see you're doing. And my answer is the classic answer. I didn't mean it that way. But it doesn't matter what I meant. What matters is what they see. So perception is reality until proven otherwise. Thus, we need to always be aware of how we are perceived. And again, reflecting just on my own experience. If you have relationships with people where you'll have people who will come and tell you that before it causes any problems, you're in a good place. So always keep that one in mind. I like to look at a set of numbers. The first set of numbers is 6 to 8. 6 to 8, that's the number of hours of sleep we're supposed to get every day. 10 to 12. 10 to 12 are the number of hours we normally invest in work. That includes travel time, it includes stopping for lunch, but it's that whole time span that encompasses our jobs. The last set, and it's the smallest set, 8 to 4. These are the number of hours left over as a result of the previous two. And in those handful of hours, we communicate with our spouse, our children, our friends, engage in hobbies, cut the grass, whatever needs to be done. The point of this review is simply this. We spend more time with our employees than anybody else. We spend more, especially waking hours, right? So I believe fully that if we are spending that much time doing our jobs as leaders, and we have the people that report to us spending all of their hours doing the same thing, that we have the responsibility as leaders to work and engage with our employees as people and not things. So this, as a result, can make business life a whole lot more enjoyable. So let's take a look at some other things that we as managers should be aware of. Number one, do we know our employees? And that doesn't mean knowing their name. It means knowing, do they have kids? How many? What are their hobbies? What do they like to do on the side? How about, are you concerned with their well-being? That naturally and automatically puts you in a place where you're looking at your people as individuals. And that is the key thing. Every single person that's in your business unit is in fact an individual. And they have things on their minds, just like you do. Next, do we lead and manage from a perspective of service? Now, we may not think of that too often, but the fact is that the better we are at serving our employees so that they are in the best situation possible to do their jobs the best they can, that's a winning spot for everybody. Now, as far as leading employees, I want to show you a picture. And we're going to talk about the difference in the two the two pictures here. Here it is, right here. This is a picture of the typical leadership structure, which is over here, right? We know how it is. CEO at the top, everybody falls below, right? We see this everywhere. However, when I talk about leading people and when I talk about successful ways to motivate individuals, our leadership style should look like this over here. And what's this a picture of? This is a picture of the leader training their people so that they can be as successful as possible. And the leader can feel comfortable releasing them, so to speak, to let them do their job. Have we ever heard of that topic in comment before? I have. President Reagan. President Reagan had this saying, which to me pretty much says it all. He said, surround yourself with good people and let them do their job. So what makes a person good? Number one, their natural skill set. Interview somebody, bring them on board to accomplish something. But the next piece is training. Training everybody to be successful. Fulfilling one of the 5 employee needs, and that is to be well trained so they can perform their job well. The point of it is this. If we prepare and train people to be successful in their roles, we don't have to look over their shoulders all the time. We can instead say, you're well prepared. Go and do your thing. Go and do the things that we've brought you on board for, that we have entrusted you to complete. And they will naturally rise to the surface. It's human nature to do this. So at the bottom line of all of this for today, if you take care of the members of your business, the members of your business team, they will take care of you. It's a proven fact. Nice talking to you today. Have a great day. Thank you.